As a multipotentialite, I have a lot of different interests, but it took me some time to actually figure out how to make money with them. I tried dropshipping before, Amazon FBA, YouTube channel, even DJing, but they didn't make money because I felt like I need to specialize in them. But I only really built a six-figure agency once I understood that I don't have to specialize and I have to combine all these different skills and interests I have into something unique that other people find valuable. And in this video, I'm going to share exactly how I did this, how I figured out these interests, how I combined them into something that's valuable for people, and how I actually started making money as a multipotentialite. So the first step is to actually accept that you have a lot of different interests. So as a multipotentialite, you probably have the same feeling that you're kind of into this thing, you're kind of into cooking as well, into photography, into writing, into personal development. Maybe you love coaching and stuff like this. That as well. And you feel like, because you see this online and from other people, and it kind of is taught in school as well, that you need to pick this one profession that you're going to do the rest of your life, and you can't change, you can't do anything else. But you have to accept that this doesn't really work for you, and you have a lot of different interests, and you feel like you need to scratch those itches. And the magic actually comes when you start to combine these interests into something that is extremely unique and people haven't seen before. So in my understanding, creativity comes when you take something that isn't supposed to be there and you make it work. So I give you an example. So one story, I started working with a furniture store and I started doing some marketing for them and some lead campaigns and stuff like this. But I know, which I did before, I was really into music and DJing and music production even a little bit. And I was also doing YouTube back in the days, and I was really into making videos and I just loved it. And I was also interested in marketing. I loved writing copies, building Facebook ad campaigns and building funnels and all these different things. And this came to then as something very unique, which I did with a friend of mine that for this furniture store I work with, we ended up making a marketing song, and we created like this whole music video for it, which we shot in a week, and we then made this entire song, which we wrote, we recorded, we edited, and we ran this as a campaign, and it got quite some views. That was for a local furniture store, so 130K is quite a lot in that range. And this only came because I had all these different interests and I combined it into something unique. And the thing is, no furniture store has done this before. It was extremely different. It was extremely unique. And again, no one was able to copy this so quickly because it was such a unique product of my personal interests. And that is what comes when you start to combine these. And I show you another thing. So when I began working on my agency and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go down that direction. I feel like I felt drawn to it and it was really energizing me. Again, once you start, for example, you take some coaching program on how to start build an agency. The first thing people say is you have to pick a niche, which is right. And then you just have to specialize in this one thing and you just have to do this one thing over and over again. But it didn't really work for me. And you have to systemize the entire process and then get as many clients as possible. It didn't work for me. I felt really tired when I did this and it was draining me. So I sat down and I did the same thing. I wrote down all the interests. So what do I love, for example? And here are a few things. I love meditation, yoga, philosophy, video marketing, creative directing, and marketing strategy, gym, fitness, cooking, personal development, writing, and some other stuff that's a bit older now. Okay, I wrote down all these different things. Then I wrote down, what am I good at? Cooking, storytelling, video marketing, concepts, creative directing, homemaking, guiding, listening and guiding people. So more like coaching kind of vibe. Writing, copywriting, thinking in pictures, breaking things down. And I can really feel myself into other people, which is a unique strength that not a lot of people have actually in that realm. This is the basic ikigai, but it helps a lot to find something unique that people haven't seen before that you can then start make money and you love, and it combines all your interests. And then obviously you also have to ask yourself what you can be paid for it. Because, for example, if you're really good at designing bowling balls, maybe people won't pay for this. And that's fine. It's okay to keep things as a hobby. You don't need to be paid for everything. You just need to find some sweet spot where you love it, you're really good at it, or you're interested in it. People pay you for it, and the world needs it. And in my case, people pay a lot of money for marketing services, content, video marketing, meditation, mindfulness training, e-commerce and brand building, coaching, consulting, YouTube, cooking, branding, and design. And then what does the world need? In my personal opinion, social media and content creation, people just need it. Copywriting, Facebook marketing, authenticity, connection, mindfulness, nutrition, healthy diet, exercise, sustainability, consciousness. Okay, and when I take all this into account, and you can pump this into AI nowadays as well, that was pre-AI. So I came up with a list that I could potentially really excel at, and that allows me to make money from all my different interests. For example, I could be a creative director for health and wellness brands, or creative strategist, where I spend all my day researching, building marketing strategies. I look for videos, I guide people on how to make videos, I create copies and stuff like this. And especially for something I'm interested in, health, wellness, all these different things. This would work. I could build my own D2C brand in the health, wellness, home decor, cooking space, writing and building a personal brand, especially if I do it through a platform like I do right now on YouTube, which I like, talking about the stuff I like, video marketing. Okay, but what I settled on back in the day when I first did this, and what ended up helped me to build the 6-figure agency, I took my interests. So I loved like coaching, personal development, meditation, most of these things. I just loved it. And I also spend a lot of money on this. And I made another video where you can find out what your real interests are if you don't know this. But if you just look at what you spend your money on, what you watch on YouTube, what you talk about with people a lot, what movies you kind of watch, you get a sense of what you're really interested in. And this is what I came up with. And I figured, okay, so I love coaching. I love coaching and personal development. Okay, I spend a lot of money on coaches and personal development and all these different things. Then what I'm really good at is writing copies and marketing conceptions, branding, design, really understanding audiences and really feeling into a customer and what they feel like, what their pain is. Okay, so I had this as well. Really good at this stuff. Then what I can be paid for. I know that coaches pay a lot of money in order to grow, in order to have someone do their marketing, in order to help them get more customers and to really get their positioning and branding down. So anything in that realm. And in my opinion, what the world needed, I was really sold on the coaching thing. And I was really like, hey, if people buy coachings for whatever problem they want to solve in their life, I don't care if they want to lose weight, if they want to find a girlfriend, if they want to learn some new skill, if they want to make more money. But if they buy coaching, and especially if it's something personal where it just improves their life and helps them to live their best life, so to speak, very cheesy, then the world would be a better place. That was my reasoning back then. And over time, I found the sweet spot. I was like, this is it. If I do full service marketing for coaches, consultants, experts, and trainers that are preferably doing something in the personal development niche, or maybe in the something that allows people to live a better life, then I found something I'm really interested in that allows me to take all these different interests I have and package it into something that is valuable for people. And this is exactly what I did. I started then working, and still do now, with coaches, consultants, experts, and trainers. And I didn't help them just in one thing. I did like the whole package. And that was what I really excelled at. I didn't just write one thing for them. I wrote copies for them. I ran the Facebook ads for them. I built funnels for them. So landing pages, web design, stuff like this. I helped them with their overall strategy. And I even sometimes looked a little bit into their sales stuff. But I'm not a huge expert on sales, but I do like a little bit. And that allowed me to actually do something different every single day pretty much, because sometimes I was writing copies, then I was building a landing page, then I was doing some ads. And the trick is, once you start getting tired of it and you start losing your interest for it, you actually start systemizing it and you find someone to do it for you. For example, if you start a business, you have to do your taxes and your back office and all these different things. But early on, I already found a VA for it to do it for me, because I just hated it and it drained my energy and I was not interested in it at all. And then you just outsource it to other people. Okay? And that was my strategy. And over time, again, because I had such a unique skill set of doing the YouTube before and the DJing and all these different things I tried before and these interests I had, that sometimes there were some really unique opportunities. For example, I noticed that I love working deeply with people. So I didn't have like 100 different clients. I only had like 5-7 clients, but I worked really intense with them and had like share deals with them and stuff like this, and long time. So I became more of their partner and did multiple roles. And sometimes we had video shoots that I was directing and I was like telling them how to set up the cameras and things like this, because I was interested in this before and I had this skill. So I was combining all these different things. And to make this more specific now and give you another example. So let's say you love photography. Okay, you're just really into photography and you just love it and you're really good at it. Okay. And the other thing you're really good at might be doing, again, let's just take marketing. Okay. You're also really good at marketing. So what I could do is I could combine this as well. And I don't have to just be a photographer and do like portraits and stuff like this. I could also say that, because in marketing, you need, for your Facebook ads, you need really good creative. And especially for personal brands, they need really good pictures of themselves as well that they can use in their branding to have a professional look and stuff like this. So what I could do is I could offer some marketing service. So maybe I run their Facebook ads or whatnot. And I also include a photo shoot where we take really professional creatives and we take videos and photography of those coaches and personal brands that we then use in their marketing services. Again, I created something unique because of my skill set that people can't really compete with, because if most people just offer marketing services, but if I also offer the photo shoots and stuff like this, then I again combined two interests that I had into something very unique. Okay? And that's how you pretty much start making money with it. So you sit down, you do the ikigai pretty much, and you think of all the interests you have and what you can be paid for. And then you think of different solutions that could potentially make you money, where you can also be paid for, but that combines all your different interests as well into something very unique. And once you have this, you start to take action and you start to take small things. Okay. So it depends obviously if you're in a job or if you like me, self-employed or freelancing and stuff. But if you're in a job, the same thing pretty much applies. So if you work in a company and you have some sales job, maybe you're also really interested in other things, then you could start being proactive to your boss, and you can offer to do these other things. And over time, you become more and more valuable to the company because you have so many different skills and interests. And people know they can come to you with different problems, and you're really creative in solving problems. That is a different thing. By having a lot of different interests, you can think of a lot of different ways to solve a different one problem. And you have multiple solutions. So for example, if someone comes to me with a marketing problem, I don't look at just through the lens of copywriting. I also look through the lens of branding, strategy, design, positioning, videos, messaging, all these different things that I can then flick through in order to find a solution that actually works. Whereas people that just specialize, they just have their copy glasses on and they see every problem is kind of a copywriting problem. Or that's a big thing with like marketers. If you start in marketing and you just consume marketing content, you think every business problem can be solved through more and better marketing. But this is not true. And then if you talk to someone that has multiple interests, that, for example, is really good at operations, at marketing, at managing people, at hiring, at sales, all these different things, systemizing, he will find a lot of different solutions to solve this one problem, whereas this marketing dude felt like we just need to do more marketing, which is not the case. And obviously, if you freelance or you do some self-employed stuff, then you can just do this process, and then you can start finding people that would be valuable for, and start selling it to them, messaging them on Instagram, or starting on Upwork, or reaching out to people via email or whatnot, or calling them and offering this to people.